Hey guys, Scott Sio here, and this is the final whistle.
Hello and welcome back to the final whistle presented to you by the Rugby Connection podcast. Well, we are back down the coast at Sandy Park with my beloved Exeter Chiefs with our next guest. Over 140 Super Rugby appearances for the Brumbies, over 70 Wallabies caps, one of the biggest brutes you can get on the field, and just an awesome player all round, and probably an even better person. Scott Sio. Scott, thank you so much for coming on. How are you getting on, mate?
I'm good. First of all, thanks for having me on. Happy to be here. It's always good to talk to someone who supports the Exeter Chiefs so passionately. But no, good. Obviously, we're in the swing of it with preseason. We had a team meeting week this week, so just been recovering from that.
I love that. Well, suppose we're again. How is preseason going? Because obviously it's the worst part of the year. Nobody likes it.
Yeah, it is. It's obviously it's where you get a lot of your building blocks in as a team and a lot of your team bonding and that. But I'm not getting any younger, so they definitely get tougher as you get older. But first couple of weeks have been not too bad, but we've got a big sort of block of 4 weeks coming up now where we're going to put in a bit of hard graft. And I'm sure if you're down at the beach at Exmouth on a Friday, you'll see us down there trying to pick ourselves up from the sand.
Have you done the dreaded Bronco yet?
No, we do the AST here.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
we do that here. I couldn't. Boys are asking me which one you prefer, and I said, honestly, mate, at this point in time, I'd prefer to not do any of them. So
That's the best answer. Yeah, nobody likes doing preseason. Even if you love being in the gym or love going for a run, preseason sucks. Everyone hates it. I've never heard a good thing about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Jack Yendall could be short odds to be probably one of the only players I've known in my life that actually might enjoy preseason. So maybe not all of it, but I mean, he's probably the one guy I've noticed the most that loves training.
Fair enough of that. Well, we usually ask the first question with our guests with this one, but we've kind of already got the ball rolling a little bit. What actually got you into rugby in the first place?
Obviously, I was born in Australia, grew up in Sydney, out in the inner west suburbs out there. Both my parents are of Samoan descent, so obviously rugby is a huge part of Samoan culture. And, the pioneers of that were obviously the Samoan teams that played through the 90s. My dad was a part of the 91 World Cup squad.
Nice.
Yeah, kind of like a short little story, I guess my parents sort of say, but I was born during the week that Samoa played Scotland. And my parents would say they had a little bet on, whoever would win, it'd be named after. So Samoa won Manu, and if Scotland won, Scott. So, I guess, as
There you go.
Scotland won on the day. Alan Alalator, one of my ex-teammates, thought it would be funny if they named me. Well, they said they should have named me Murray because they're playing at Murrayfield, So
There you go. Yeah, I would have won. I think so.
Yeah. And I guess, as a young, Samoan kid growing up in Australia, you kind of want to emulate what your dad did and a couple of, your role models in and around that. And I guess, you just kind of got into rugby to make friends as you were growing up. And then, eventually you kind of decided, this is what I want to do.
Nice. I love that. And your dad made the right choice in calling you Scott. You could have had Murray. Murray's a great name. I have to say that, though. Have you always been a prop, though? I know that, like, a lot of players, especially, like, at age grade or just, like, grass fields, they change positions a lot, but some kind of stick it out the same position.
Yeah, no, I obviously as a kid, like anything, I played rugby league as well, growing up. In both sort of codes, I just went anywhere. I kind of just played anywhere and just wanted to get a feel for the game. And then I guess as you get a bit older, kind of heading into the sort of those early teens, is where you kind of decide where you want to sort of lock it down. Excuse me. And at the time when I was coming through, we all loved the Samoan team, and there was a lot of Pacific Islanders playing for the All Blacks. But we only had a couple guys to look up to in the Wallaby squad, and at that time it was Totai Kefu and George Smith playing in the back row. So I guess for a lot of us Pacific Island kids, we wanted to be like them. So a lot of us played 8 or 7. You know, I wore a headgear as well when I was coming through. And then in 2009, they tried these. World Rugby tried to bring in these ELVs, experimental law variations, where half of the long arms were going to be short arms. So it kind of encouraged you to have smaller back rows, smaller teams, more mobile. And it was kind of was at a crossroads. I either slimmed down, stay in the back row, or I moved to the front row. My dad encouraged me to do it, and a couple, I guess, sort of talent people in that school environment encouraged me, and I made the switch. And you know, funnily enough, the ELVs only stuck around for 1 year. Everything went back to normal the year after. But by that time, I had committed to it and I was enjoying it. I think having a father who played prop made the transition a lot easier. But yeah, and then I guess the rest is history for me.
There you go. It's worked out very well for you. So there you go.
Yeah.
Can you do both sides of the scrum? Can you do loose and tight, or
not probably anymore? I think it's become quite a specialist type of position now. But when I was first coming through, you had to be able to play both sides because you only had one prop on the bench. Yeah, and I'm showing my age here. So yeah, my first sort of 3 years was super. You only had one prop on the bench there. So like you're only in to play was either you were the best loose head or the best tight head in the team, or you were able to do both and be versatile off the bench. So yeah, when you're coming through, you just kind of I mean, I even tried to dabble at hooker, if that was going to give me an opportunity to play. So, yeah, when my first actual, one of my first games for the Brumbies was actually I came on at tight end. So, yeah, there you go.
Learn something new every day. Would you go back to it or no? Full Lucy now?
I think, yeah, it's very tough nowadays. I think you got to give yourself a bit of time. I think with a full year at it, I think I could make the adjustment after a full season, but I couldn't just, pick it up. And I mean, I'd have a go, but, you might get embarrassed, unfortunately.
Fair enough. Well, I love the honesty. But
yeah,
you mentioned Super Rugby, and obviously you're over here with Exeter in the Premiership now. What's the biggest difference you've learned in styles of rugby comparing the two leagues?
Yeah, obviously, I've said this a lot to a lot of different people. Super Rugby is probably not the same product it used to be. I think ever since 2019 finished and we headed into COVID and a lot of different countries had to make a lot of different decisions, it was always going to affect the game of rugby down there. It obviously started to quicken up the pace of it, especially when the South Africans left and the Argentinians left. So I found it was one thing. It's a lot more physical up here. It's very much a battle of attrition up here. But the one thing that did surprise me was obviously the skill level has just gone up tenfold over the past few years, and you started to see that a lot in international rugby. The competitive nature of obviously the Champions Cup there as well. So I think that was the stereotype. You kind of grew up with, right? Super Rugby is this free-flowing, fast kind of game, and then up here is very weather dependent. But I think that narrative has changed a lot in the last couple of years. Definitely having played up here now for 2 full seasons. But if I could say the biggest difference, putting rugby aside, is probably the length of the seasons. And to kind of explain it to me in a pretty simple way that made sense. That Super Rugby is a sprint and it's a tournament. You lose a couple games on the bounce and you're very much on the back foot. Whereas up here it's more of a season. It's a grind and it's a marathon, and you can always work your way back into things. If you're able to stick at it. So I guess motivation, how to keep motivation is very different. You know what I mean? Because up here you've got to be able to keep your players motivated for a lot longer of a time. Whereas up there it's just hard and fast and hit it while you can.
Fair. Yeah, no, that's good. I'm glad you mentioned the seasons because obviously you do hear it quite a lot, especially with like Australians or New Zealand players coming across. And like, wait, you start in September? And we're like, yeah, we do this from like September right through till June. And you get like a little month off and then straight back in, yeah. Where I think, I don't know if I'm right in this, Super Rugby starts in like February.
Yeah.
Till the June.
Pretty much. Yeah.
And then it's the internationals, and then you've got like Christmas off, essentially.
Yeah. You basically, like, if you play Wallabies, you'll play the back end of the year with Wallabies, and then you'll get all of December and the first week of January usually only off. And then, but if you don't, you got to go play club rugby, and then you get, I think, October off.
Okay.
And then you start preseason around November, December, and then you get 2 weeks off at Christmas and New Year's, kind of thing. So it's a bit weird. Like, I guess it's a bit tough if you're not playing, Wallabies. You got to go back, and I think you'll head back to your home state and play club rugby there, whether you want to stay in Canberra or if you want to go up to Sydney or Brisbane to play. I think teams are a lot more flexible in and around that nowadays.
Yeah, that's fair. Do you think Super Rugby would work like a whole like season or just?
It would be tough. It would be a massive adjustment for the players there. I think they'd have to add in a few more teams to make it. I feel like they would need to add in a couple more teams to make it viable. The problem with Super Rugby is the logistics of it.
Yes.
It's just like flying. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. You know, I've enjoyed that here. The bus trips. Like, at first I wasn't used to it, but the fact that you play and you get home and you get to sleep in your own bed, you get the whole next day, you know, like for us, even playing like the Waratahs, which was like a 3-hour drive or a 40-minute flight back in the day for Brumbies, we'd have to go up on the Friday, play on the Saturday, fly back on the Sunday, you know. And, you know, that was the shortest trip we had, but it's still 3 whole days kind of gone, you know. And it's just like, here, it's like, you know, you go, you do your captain's run, or you drive up, have a meal with the team, play some cards and that. And then luckily we play in the afternoon all the time here too, which I've, you know, having to wait around for a 7:45 game all the time was never ideal. So that's one big thing I've enjoyed, probably also being a lot older now. It's nice to sleep in your own bed after the game.
Yeah. I mean, you've hit around the head about the afternoon kickoffs, because obviously I'm an Exeter fan. It's not the easiest place to get to from me. I think it's about a 9-hour drive, something like that. And every time so I look at the fixtures and I always try and plan at least one trip down to Sandy Park for a season. And every game last season, when Exeter were at home, Edinburgh were also at home. And I'm like, come on, what is going on? Like,
never
and
ideal.
even this year, because usually you play like Glasgow in the Champions Cup, so I could go to a Glasgow game but support the Chiefs, and you're not even with them this year. I'm like, oh, great, awesome.
I don't know who organises the Champions Cup and how we do the home and away. I feel like it just makes sense that you play one French team home and one French team away, and one URC at home and one away. But last year we played both French teams away, and then this year we're playing both URC teams away. So I can't really understand.
I don't know
how they work it out, but
I'm more excited. Obviously, I'm still excited for Edinburgh's Challenge Cup, but I'm more excited for Exeter's Champions Cup because you are playing different opponents this year. Whereas out of the 5 in our pot for the Challenge Cup, I think we played 3 of them last year, and I'm like, great. Like, there's nothing new. Like, we know what to expect. And I don't know. I like, especially in the groups, I like fresher opponents.
No, 100%. It is cool. I mean, cool thing for me is I know a couple of the boys that play at Bordeaux. You know, that's going to be cool. Catch up with, like, you know, Pete Samuel, Ben Tapai, Adam Coleman, and then Ben Tommy Funa's also there too as well. But you know, I haven't been back to Durban since Super Rugby, so we get to go there. And you know, I've heard good things about Belfast. You know, and we're playing there on a Friday night, so that's going to be cool.
Could be possible. I could maybe make that trip. Who knows? We'll see.
the last one was always, to lose home and away, home or away was always going to be a tough one. So it didn't really matter. that game didn't really matter where it was going to be from.
Obviously, the Wallabies is under new management, under Joe Schmidt. He's picked no overseas players from that little series against Wales and the test against Georgia. But have you had any conversations with Joe at all about maybe like the November series at all? Or
No. I mean, the only one I ever really was in contact with was Dave Rennie. I had a relationship with Dave, but I think it makes sense. Joe probably obviously wants to incorporate like a lot of his things and his systems and with the coaching staff he has, and it's just easier to do that with home-based players. I'm sure there are guys like Marika Korobita has been obviously a fantastic servant for our game and an inconsistent performer. So in terms of overseas guys, him and probably maybe Willie Skelton are probably the only two guys. But I think the locks coming through have been doing well there. I think he probably wants to build combinations, take a lot of that, sort of build a lot more depth, and then sort of see where he really wants to add value if he does from guys overseas. So, for me, it's just, I always knew that coming over to Chiefs, that might be it for my Wallaby career. I mean, if I'm ever given the opportunity, I obviously would be, honoured to be a part of the squad again. But, that's the reality of the game, when your country has rules and that are in place, and and there are guys coming through that are killing it. That's always how it's going to be. So it's been a bit of an adjustment, one that I've enjoyed, just being able to focus on my craft here at Exeter Chiefs. And you never say never, but if the call comes. If not, so be it.
That's a very well trained answer. I like it. I was just going to say, would you ever consider maybe, when was your last cap? 2021?
October 2022. So, I had this conversation a couple of times. So I'd be free October next year to play if I wanted to play for Samoa, and if they wanted me as well there. But they had a pretty good last two games as well under Henry Schwager there. So I know they're building some good stuff there, and I'm sure they'll want to have a good alternate international series as well.
That's fair. Just somebody pick him, because Scott's great. I love Scott.
Thanks.
What actually drew you to Exeter in the first place?
Well, I guess I got to sort of reel it back. I had a lot of things going on in 2021. Unfortunately, my mother passed away, which was a big one for me. Family's obviously massive in our, for us and just within our culture. And coming to terms with that was tough. But I guess everything happens for a reason. We know, God's plan. She's in a better place now. But it's unfortunate that sometimes you got to go through a bit of adversity to have a bit of perspective on things. And by then, I'd had a good amount of time with my mum before things happened to my dad and my family. And I came to the realization that was sort of my 10th season at the Brumbies and about my 8th with the Wallabies by then. And I had one more year of my contract, and I was kind of like, maybe it's time for something new, time to start afresh. Originally, I actually wasn't really talking to Exeter because they were obviously trying to see how Ben Moon was going at that time. So at the time, I was kind of talking to a few other teams over here, but the contracting system kind of overlaps. Australia runs from December 1st to November 30, whereas here it's July 1st to June 30. So you'd have to give a release, and then it's one of those things. Hindsight. Last year you want to finish on a high, and then you kind of play yourself back into the Wallabies. So coming over in July kind of wasn't an option for me. So things sort of fell through, and I didn't really have many options. Right. So I wasn't really sure what I was going to do. And then unfortunately, poor Ben Moon didn't really get through the preseason well, and he kind of, I think they came to an agreement medically that he was probably not going to play. So Rob Baxter got in touch and was like, would you still be willing to come over? And I said, yeah, I'd love to. He said, when do you reckon? And I said, look, I'm here for the rugby championship, but I should be free around October. And yeah, no, everything worked out well and worked out how it happened to be. And like I said, everything happens for a reason, and that was probably supposed to play out that way. So yeah, I knew Nick White, Dave Dennis, team, a lot of the guys that played over here, Greg Holmes and Lockie Turner. So I just obviously mentioned it to them that I'm probably looking to go, and they had nothing but nice things to say about the Chiefs and the culture and Devon and the people here in Exeter. So after that, I was pretty sure about moving over.
Yeah, you made the right decision. Absolutely. Definitely. I have spoken to Nick White about that. He does speak very highly of the Chiefs and the Devon area, and get him back as well. Put a word on. I don't know if you can, but
we try, mate.
We'll try. Just back to your Wallabies career just a little bit. How do you prepare for a World Cup final compared to, like, I don't want to say a regular fixture because every international test is important, but you know what I mean, like compared to like a test series or like a friendly, as some would say.
Yeah, I know. It obviously sounds very cliche to say that, you got to treat every game the same, because realistically you don't. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's probably something we try to say to people to try and make it sound, a lot more believable. You know what I mean? But I think at the end of the day, you've just got to understand. There's obviously that big line about trusting the process. I guess you just got to put faith in the fact that, you guys we're meant to be there. We deserve to be there. And we've put in the work throughout the tournament, and we've prepared as best we can throughout the week for it. So I think trust and belief is probably a big thing. At that point, you just got to trust the people around you and have belief in each other. And, that 2015 World Cup was nuts. I had my fair share of niggles throughout it. Split my head open, had a staph infection, had a grade 2 deal, and I dislocated my elbow before that final. So I had it. Yeah, no, you go through the ringer, split my eye open too. But at the time, you don't really think about it like that. You kind of like, I'm in a World Cup. I'm playing for Australia in London. I'm playing at Twickenham every week. Like you just motivate yourself anyway. And I think that's the thing. You don't need any motivation. It's kind of getting past those sort of pre-game nerves. And then weirdly, once you're out there, you kind of it's just you and the other team. Like once it's all going, you kind of forget there's a crowd until a break in play, and you're like, oh yeah, that's right, we're playing in front of 80 odd people in Twickenham in a World Cup final. I guess you get so in the zone for it, you're out there, and then unfortunately we lost, but I look back now and I wish I took in a lot more of it. The surroundings and where we were and the occasion, but at the time you're so rugby, you don't really take that opportunity to appreciate who you are.
That's fair. I can't talk about the 2015 World Cup though, for obvious reasons.
I know. Yeah, don't worry.
It's all good. I know it's not your fault.
Every Scotsman I come across always reminds me about that game. But I had a dislocated elbow. I spent a lot of the second half sitting there wondering if this was it for us. So, yeah.
I think that was the only game I broke my television at.
Yeah, I can imagine. I probably would have too if I was a Scottish person that day.
The thing is, right, I know we're talking about that now, but it's not like I'm not one that would like next World Cup I'd be like, oh, what if 2015 happened? I don't. Yeah, no, that happened. That would be like, that's so stupid thinking like that.
Yeah, that's all right. It's just how it is, when you're so. I think that's the thing. Like, you got to understand, people are so passionate, and it's just how it is. You know what I mean? Like every Australian probably blew a sigh of relief that day. You know what I mean? And every Scottish person was probably ready to scrap any Australian they came across. So it's just how it is. That's just feelings. That's why sports. Such a big source of entertainment for everyone. You know what I mean? You ride the highs and the lows at the end of the day.
Absolutely. I liked it. What was it, Nick? I think it was actually Nick that said it. I'm not a rugby fan. I'm a rugby supporter because I'm there for the highs. I'm there for the lows. I don't just That is like a pet peeve of mine. If people like, oh, I support Exeter Chiefs, and then say you lose 2 games in a row,
Yeah,
I'm not going back because the team's not doing great. No, now's when the team needs you.
yeah. No, it is like that. I mean, and you come across a lot of fans like that at the end of the day, and then you come across a lot of fans like yourself who were there to ride the highs and the lows. So yeah, I like that. I think that's a really cool sort of statement. I'm not a rugby fan. I'm a rugby supporter, and that's like me too. I think like anyone, not like a lot of people ask me if I'm salty that you might not play for Australia again, but I'm so grateful I got to represent my country 74 times and had 2 World Cups, and now I always support the boys. A lot of those boys were very young when they were coming through, and this is their time to represent the green and gold, and I'll always support those boys no matter what.
I love this. This is what I love. It's all good stuff. Just for fun, obviously you're the guest, so you are starting in this situation. Who is your dream front row partner? So we've got Scott Sio at the loose head. You can pick your hooker and your tight head, both past and present.
Oh, that's some question.
But you have to do the full 80. Sorry.
What's that?
You're doing the full 80.
I'm doing the full 80. Okay.
You're doing
So
the full 80.
when you first start. That was the one funny thing about when you first started is obviously you only had one prop on the bench. So when you see him warm up, both props kind of look at each other and wait to see who's coming
up. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's actually a very good question. There's a lot of great hookers I've played against the last couple of years. It's probably a toss-up between Dane Coles and Malcolm Mux. I think Dane Coles obviously just for his body of work in the All Black jersey and how exciting he is. And I think Malcolm Mux is just a grafter,
True.
and I think one of those two would be probably would have been really cool to play with. And I've obviously played with a lot of great tight heads over the years. Obviously, like one I played a lot of time with in the Wallabies early on was Sikope Kepu and Alan. But if I had to pick someone from elsewhere, really put me on the spot here. I think for the amount of times we played against each other, like a Dan Cole would have been really, really cool to play with and sort of pick his brains and just sort of really get after it with him. And then I guess from a totality kind of point of view, Tag Furlong would have been
nice.
Trying to sort of mix it with out wide, kind of play similar to how Sikope Kepu played. I think one of those to a hooker and then one of those to a tight end would be cool.
So we'll do. I'm trying to think how I would do it then. Scott Sio, loose head, start Dane Coles at hooker with Tyg Furlong in the tight head jersey, Malcolm Marks and Sikope Kepu comes off the bench. There you go.
Oh yeah, or Dan Cole. Yeah, I don't know. No, I played Kep, so I'll try and pick people I didn't play with. I haven't played with.
All right, okay.
Yeah, we'll go. Actually, we'll go. I'll start with Malcolm Marks, and Tyg Furlong, and then go Dane Cole and Dan Cole off the bench.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Just confuse the commentary team when they come on. Then I like that.
Yeah.
Dane Coles and Dan Cole.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. That's good. Yeah, I like that. Final question from me before we go into some fan questions, but I feel like you might know these fans. So anyway, what is your personal aims for the upcoming season?
I think for me personally, I think continue to play at a consistently high level, keep contributing to the team at loose and at the start. As I said before, when I re-signed last year, the goal is to win trophies. So whatever I can do from a team capacity to make sure that we're successful in that regard is a massive one for me.
I like that. I like that. Well, I've got some fan questions in, but I feel like some of them might know who you are, but we'll get into those ones. So, Marcus Mastro has asked, did you go overseas to play when you were younger? But I feel like we've kind of touched over that. So, no, I don't. Did you go overseas?
I did. I didn't go to play, but in 2009 for the Australian schoolboys, every 4 years they do a tour of the UK and play against all schoolboys teams. So yeah, that was probably my first taste of proper overseas rugby. I'd been to New Zealand a couple of times to play, but no, that's probably it. Yeah.
So no like French like development deal or.
But no, I was all Australia. I spent 2 years in the Waratahs Academy and then 11 years with the Brumbies.
There you go. Junior Fafita has asked, what is your pre-game routine like?
It's probably changed a little bit over the years, but nowadays here it's obviously quite different. But usually it's wake up. I usually get everything ready in the morning. Usually have a shower, have a shave, then I would get all my stuff ready, have my big sort of brunch, and have another shower, get my stuff on, and then I usually pick the boys up. But back home it was obviously quite different because we played at night a lot there. But yeah, it's kind of long days. But back home I probably used to wake up a bit later, have breakfast, have a shower, and that play PlayStation, played a lot of Fortnite, Call of Duty, and that throughout the day, and then. I used to live with Falao Whainga'a, who's the hooker at Claremont. So we used to play a lot of that and then have a little bit of a nap, get up, have a pre-game meal in at HQ and then head in for the game.
There you go. Sorted. I like that. Now, I'm not telling you who this is straight away, but as a current teammate of yours, they've asked, Tesco Sainsbury's.
Oh, I know exactly who that is.
Go on then.
It's probably Jimmy Roots, and I'd have to go Tesco Club Card.
Yeah, it was Jimmy. Yeah. Why Tesco Sainsbury's?
It's just a little in joke we've got going on.
But yeah, you're right. Tesco for the club card.
Yeah,
saves a fortune. Yeah, absolutely.
He'll know why I picked Tesco. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Again, this one, I feel like you know who this person is, but I'll ask the question anyway. Who was your secret crush at the start of your Super Rugby career?
My secret crush?
Yeah. And then in brackets they put love Uncle Tiffy.
I don't know about a secret crush, but my celebrity crush was always Jessica Alba.
There we go. That might help. I'll count that. Yeah, that's cool. This is when they put love Uncle Tiffy. Is it Scott's Uncle Tiffy? I don't know if you've got.
Someone's trying to stitch me up there, I reckon.
All right, okay. Oh, that's not fun. Oh well. Just Jessica Alba's a good answer. Yeah, it's fine. It's all good. Lucky Key 94 is asked, is Samsung your middle name?
Yeah, that's my cousin. Lucky Lee. Before, yeah. It's not, but he's referring to the Psalm 1 song that we talk about, and because I have a Samsung phone, so he thinks it should be my anthem.
Okay, Scott Samsung Sio. Okay,
we'll go with that.
We'll go with that. And Milo Defante, I think I've said that right, has asked tips for making great super soy.
Supper sweet?
Yeah.
I don't make it because my mum used to make it all the time and that, but I'll get my missus to make it and then I'll throw out a recipe on Instagram.
There you go. I'm guessing that's like a traditional like Samoan dish.
Yeah. It's basically vermicelli, soy sauce, and usually use lamb. Some people use beef, but you use lamb, have it on, and then you cook it a certain way. Eat it with rice or taro. Yeah, up to you.
That sounds quite nice, actually.
Yeah, it is. It's like most islanders love sub sui. Yeah, it's called it's sub sui, but people know it as like chop sui
Oh, right, okay, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Upside, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and it's this is like the Islander version of it. Yeah.
Which means it's better then.
Yeah, exactly.
um, Clint Hillstrength has asked about you growing up and playing in Sydney, and what is your favourite strength and conditioning drill when you were a kid?
Um, I guess being a rugby player and being Islander, we always had we're always kind of blessed with genetics. So I never really didn't like leg day. I understood that it was all it was all part of it. Yet I think a lot of boys love bench and that, but I used to squat and deadlift quite a fair bit. I obviously learned a few more drill sort of lifts as you got older, but we were always kind of told from young age to have strong legs and a strong base before anything. So yeah, I probably spent a lot of time doing legs growing up as a kid.
I'm finally glad to see somebody that loved doing legs day, because that was like my favourite as well.
Yeah.
Can't
Yeah.
do pull-up. I
No,
suck at pull-up.
oh yeah, no, neither. I can't do. I've had too many injuries too. I don't think it's made for us, mate. There's a lap. That's why there's a lap pull down machine.
There you go. That's a good idea. I like that.
Yeah.
Fair. Yeah, so that's all the first part. The second part is getting to know just Scott Sio,
Yeah.
the person. Yeah. So, what is your favourite film?
Oh, yeah. Like my missus will probably tell you, but I don't have like one sort of favorite film. I kind of like I rank films on whether I'd rewatch it and how many times I'd rewatch it. That will kind
Okay.
of let me know if it's a good enough film or not. But
You can do that.
I don't know. I'm a big. Like I grew up. I love Disney films. One of my favorites growing up probably Cars as well there. But any Denzel Washington film, Man on Fire,
Mm.
great movies. I mean, the Equalizer series was quite cool too there as well. But yeah, I'm one of those like annoying people that probably won't give you one, unfortunately.
You can give me 5. You can give me 10. You're the guest. It's all up to you.
I don't have enough time. How many I'll probably name.
Fair. I do like the diversity from
We'll go.
cars.
I'll go Cars. I'll go Cars.
Cars. Fair.
Yeah.
It's iconic. I loved it growing up. My oldest loves it now, and probably my youngest will probably love it because
Yeah.
it just keeps going around generations.
Exactly. But films like that, Cars, Moana, those films will live on for a while.
Moana's class. Other ones. My missus is a big Disney.
Yeah.
I like.
Coco, Encanto.
Yes. So there's a running joke with Encanto because my friend looks like Mirabelle.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They cut her hair and looked exactly like it. So obviously with kids' films and all, you get like the toys, the books, blah blah blah. And my oldest says, "Oh look,
Yeah.
that's Auntie. That's Auntie." I'm like, "No, it's not." So she's gonna kill me. She's gonna kill me for running that joke. So
Be all right.
but
You'll be all right.
I'll be safe. It's fine. Yeah, Disney's great. I love Disney. Can't beat it.
Can't go wrong. Yeah.
They always hit you hard. They always do something brutal in it, and I'm like, I thought this was for children.
Yeah. The one that probably crushed me was Lion King growing up.
Yes, you learn very young not to trust even the family sometimes.
Yeah. Unfortunately. Yeah.
It's brutal. Was Lion King, Up, the opening scene from Up just crushes everyone.
Yeah.
I think Tarzan was really damning. Nobody notices that.
Yeah.
I think it's the end scene where you can quite clearly see that the guy's dead. I'm like, that's brutal for a kid's film.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Finding Nemo as well. That's a dark start.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
See? And that's Sydney based, so there you go. Thought of you when I said that.
Yeah.
So who's your favourite actor then?
I think for me, I guess his body of work would probably be Denzel Washington.
Nice.
I think Brad Pitt was always that cool guy. You always wanted to be like Brad Pitt. And then I guess from a cultural point of view, The Rock. I think
Of course.
You know, will not be touted as one of the best actors of all time, but I just think what he's done with what he's had growing up and what he's done for the island of Samoa and Pacific Island people. You know, I know a lot of people probably hate on him, but you know, he's putting you know, the nation on the map there, and I think it's been great. But yeah, probably those kind of three guys. Yeah.
It's a nice blend. I like it. If there was a film based on your career, what would the title be called, and who would you have playing Scott Sio?
Oh, I don't know about the title, but I'll probably have like I'd probably have, in terms of actors, I would probably have The Rock, Jason Momoa, or like Roman Reigns or someone like that play me. I obviously have to cut Jason Momoa and Roman Reigns' hair because I never had long hair.
You'd have to pay them extra for that, for them to cut their beautiful hair.
And then as the title, I don't know. I've never been good with these things, but maybe a young inner West Sydney kid living his dream.
Living the dream, the Scott Sio story. There you go.
There you go.
There you go. Favorite, I say song, but more like music genre.
Oh, this is tough, but I might actually have a song for you. I love like so obviously I grew up around a lot of Samoan songs, island reggae, but I because I was a '90s kid, I loved like '90s R&B and like, you know, 2000s R&B. But probably my favorite song is probably a tie between "Can We Talk" by Tevin Campbell and "Breathe Again" by Tony Braxton. Those are probably
Okay.
yeah. I'm a big sucker kind of songs. I like those, like just chill in the car, listen to the, you know, bit of 90s and kick back. Yeah.
Yeah, sit back, relax. Just
Like a bit of rap and all that, like Tupac and Biggie and that growing up. But you know, and that, but probably those two songs are well up there for me. Like they'll never die for me.
fair. I like that. So what's the one song that needs to be played right before game? Like you're in the changing room, you're about to run out. What needs to get played?
Oh. Uh this changes. I have a song every year. I try to pick one every season. But I had a Samoan song last year. It's called Siva Samoa 2K22 by Wayno. But like a lot of different years, I had a lot of different songs. Like I had a Tupac song one year, Drake song, Jimmy Crooks one year was one of my songs there. But yeah, I kind of go through a few different things. After 2021, I had Dancing Queen by ABBA. That was my mom's favorite song. So yeah.
I shouldn't have laughed because I love the reason, but I can't just see you just like ready for game. You are the dancing queen.
Yeah. You know, I throw a lot of different random songs there in my playlist sometimes. Yeah, like I don't mind a bit of Red Hot Chili Peppers. I like a bit of doof music too, a bit of house music. So I don't know. It's just whatever I'm kind of feeling that season.
Whatever you're feeling, right? I'm loving this though because I'm like that now. I love. Like, I have a playlist called "Seen It Live," and it's just who I've seen like at concerts or at festivals, and it goes from like Stormzy to Shania Twain to the Proclaimers to Liam Gallagher, and people read it and they're like, "This makes no sense." I'm like, yeah, but that's what I've seen. I've been there. I've watched them perform. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a bit like that. I kind of grew up with ABBA, Bee Gees, Michael Jackson, Queen. Yeah, because you had to play CDs back then, so you know, and you're a kid at the back, so it was whatever the parents put in there. So
whatever stuck in, yeah. What's a meatloaf for me growing up? I don't like meatloaf.
Yeah, no, I wasn't a meatloaf fan, unfortunately. Yeah,
but my dad was, and got stuck with it.
Yeah.
Favorite style or just favorite dish, food?
Oh, I'm a big Asian. I love like Japanese food, Korean,
Mm,
Chinese. Yeah, I'm big Asian. I love Asian food.
nice.
I'm a big fan of it.
Love that. Never had. I don't think I've ever had Korean food.
Korean food. They probably have the best fried chicken in the world, I reckon.
I've heard it. I've heard Korean barbecue is like
Oh,
second to none. But
yeah, so good. Japanese have the best rice in the world. I don't care. I'll die by these. Koreans best fried chicken, and then I think Chinese have the best variety.
go
They
try
just
and make.
anything. They anything. Throw different sauces in there, whatever you want. Soups. They'll do dumplings. Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
whole mix.
So you could have Chinese soup, dumplings, Japanese rice, Korean fried chicken.
Yeah, with
With,
with Japanese kewpie mayo.
there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Say, perfect. What is your go-to drink now? I know you've said you've had the socials and you've been on the Barbarians team, so you like
Yeah.
a drink. We're all good with that. You and the
Yeah.
boys, big win. I know you're older, but you're out on the town. You're celebrating the win. What are you drinking?
Okay, so we're already out now.
You're already. You could do prees. You could do both.
Our pre's are probably Corona with lime. We used to smash that growing up as kids. Not kids, sorry, but as
Yeah, it's on your way, mate. It's all good.
young adults back home. Uh, yeah, we were all about the Ronas, Corona with lime. Still love it, but I don't know. We don't have it here, but I was a big Bundaberg rum and Coke back home. So I don't mind a rum and Coke, but as I've aged and gotten older, I've learned to appreciate a good gin and tonic.
I'm so glad you said it. I had it in my head there when you said as you've gotten older. He's like, oh, he's going to drink wine and
Nah,
no.
I'm not a big wine. My missus loves wine, but nah, it's not for me. Not yet, but maybe a bit further on down the track. But as of right now, no, I'm still on the liquor. Yeah,
We're the same. I'm loving this. We drinks would be great. Drinks would be flowing. Have random music on. Oh, great night out or night
yeah.
in. Yeah,
Exactly. Going to Edinburgh, go for a night out there again.
yeah. I'm all for it. Why not? More the merrier. Let me know. Let me know when.
Yeah,
Speaking of food, though, I have to ask every Australian this, just because it's became a big like phenomenon when I interview them. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
nah,
Yes, Scott. I knew we vibe hard on this. I love it.
I'm not a fan. I've never liked it growing up as a kid either. I just
That's
found
fine.
it because I love fruit. I
Yeah.
just couldn't imagine it. Like I'm very much like a savory or sweet. Some things can mix, but I just don't really do fruit on pizza. No.
So what about what was it? Nick White taught me it.
Oh, here we go. What did he tell you?
Pineapple ring on a burger.
Nah, I don't even do that.
No. See, this me and you are vibing. I'm loving this. Because
Yeah,
every other Australian I've had, like, yeah, you need to try that. You need to grill the pineapple ring. Oh, no, stop. What's going on?
nah, not for me. Nah. Beetroot's probably as far as I go. I don't mind beetroot. I prefer not to have it. But you gotta understand, I grew up in a Samoan household, man. We didn't eat all this stuff that often anyway. So whenever
Samoans
I
are proper. Samoans eat proper food then. I like it.
did, yeah, exactly.
I'm all for it. Where is your dream like holiday destination?
Oh, I guess if you're just chilling, you'd love to be somewhere like um the Maldives or you know what I mean, Bora Bora or something like that. But I have a bucket list. This was also part of one of the reasons why I wanted to come play overseas was to actually like travel around Europe. And then I think one of the things people don't realize is like, although we get to travel so much with this game that we love, we don't actually get to see the places we're going to. Like
Mhm.
most times, if we're there for a week, we train all day Monday, all day Tuesday. We can't be on feet too long. Like say if we have a Wednesday off, then we're training Thursday, massage. Friday, we usually go to the stadium, do a captain's run. Stay before the game, so you're not doing much. Play Saturday, and then you fly out Sunday. So
Yeah,
like, you've got one day to see one thing if you're lucky
yeah.
while you're there. And so I think one of the things there was like I want to travel around. So I grew up. Faith was massive in our house. Growing up, we're Catholic in our house, so one of my top of my bucket list was to go to the Vatican. So the missus and I, we have a week off in the preseason at the end of August. So we're going to go to Barcelona and Rome, and yeah, going to tick a few things off the bucket list there.
There you go. Love that. Get that. What else is on that list? I'm intrigued now. I love bucket lists. I love people wanting to see different places. Edinburgh's got to be on them. Come on, we're getting the rum and we're getting the food going. We need Edinburgh on the bucket list.
I played a couple of spring tours up there. I've seen the castle, Edinburgh is one of the few places we actually got to walk around a fair bit because luckily for us, everything wasn't too far away from each other.
Yeah, so it's all very compact. It's nice and easy.
Yeah, saw the Christmas markets there too.
There you go. Oh, see, it's not as good as it once was.
Well, you still got to do it.
Yeah, of course. We still have to take the kids, pay £15 for a waffle. I don't know. There's some places that I'm just like, you can just tell you're doing this.
Yeah.
Because you know people are stupid enough to pay for it.
Exactly. Yeah, you could have made it at home for like £3, but you'll pay 10 quid for it at a Christmas market.
It's the experience, apparently.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what people say. It's the experience you paid for. No, it's not. It's a waffle.
Yeah.
Right? It's not that. It doesn't run that deep. Don't worry.
No, it doesn't at all, mate. Don't worry. I know that.
Is there any hobbies or interests you have away from rugby?
I'm a big golfer. I love playing golf.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not up there with the best in the team here or back home, but I just enjoy it. Like my old man played golf, and he had a good group of friends that played golf. His best friend plays golf, Sammy. So like I was just a young kid, I just enjoyed it. But boys here are pretty good. They play all the time. Stu Townsend, back in those fellas like to get out there and play a fair bit. Woolrig there too. So yeah, I'm a big fan of that. And then my brother probably more than me originally, but we're big fans of anime. Like I grew up, I watched anime, Japanese anime, and I'm just it's kind of hard. Like when people are like, "Oh, what are you watching any TV series at the moment?" And I was like, "Oh, nothing you probably want to watch, mate." So
don't worry about it. I'm a wrestling fan. See, trying to explain that to people, and you still get it now. Oh, you know it's fake. Yeah, so is television.
When you're a kid, you don't know. The best rivalry forever for me was Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock.
My guy, you see what I mean? This is what I'm loving.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, no, that's iconic. But yeah, I get people all the time like, oh, you know it's fake, and I'm like, so is EastEnders.
Yeah,
it's not real. Yeah.
Yeah.
I find it entertaining. That's what it is. It's sports entertainment. That's literally in the title.
Whenever people like that say, ask them if they watch Love Island or all those other crappy shows, because they're all fake too.
Yeah. No, we do that. I actually lied to one of my friends about this. We actually joke, it's a running joke now, that when we first met, my ringtone was like a wrestler's theme.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, what's that? I was like, oh, nothing, because obviously you don't explain you're a wrestling fan to the public. And he was like, no, that was Seth Rollins' theme. I was like, yeah. He was like, you like wrestling? I was like, yeah. And then it just, yeah. So, and like 10 years later, we're still friends and still watch wrestling together. Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah. That's it.
So no judgment on the anime. I've never watched it. I know the interest though. I know it's massive.
Yeah. No, it was huge, especially when we had the 19 World Cup. And we went to Japan a couple of times anyway. And they're huge for it. They dress like the characters and everything. So I was in my element over there.
Good. Yeah, I love that. Wrestling, Marvel, basketball. Yeah, they're my go-tos.
Yeah.
Although I love basketball, but there's one thing I hate about American sport is the time. Not the time it's on. Just American football should be fantastic.
Yeah, but it takes forever.
Yeah. One tackle, made 2 yards. Let's stop for 15 minutes. And let's review what just happened. I'm like, he made 2 yards. He didn't do anything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I know I'm going to get so much rubbish for that one, but oh well. Final question for you today, Scott. One thing you would like to be remembered for?
I guess as a player, I'd like to think that people thought I was a tough, sort of player. I like to mix it, and I was in there in the trenches with the boys, as a teammate, a team player. Someone that was approachable and people enjoyed being around and playing with there as well. And I guess just for the general public, a role model. I guess I hope that people can see through my Instagram and the kind of person I am. Family, faith, and rugby are sort of three massive pillars for me. So yeah, that's probably how I'd like to be remembered in each of those. Yeah.
I love all those answers, and you've ticked like so many of those boxes already, and there's still more to come. But the book is closed because you've absolutely smashed it, Scott, and I cannot thank you enough for coming on.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me on. I really enjoyed it, appreciate it, and I'm stay in touch in the future.
Oh yeah, you're stuck with me now.
Sounds good.
Gonna get bored of me. You're more than welcome to come up to Edinburgh. Get those rums, get the liquor, get the Corona, because we do get that up here. Don't worry.
Nice. To your iron brews.
Yeah, you don't have to. If you don't like it, then it's all good. It's not
Scotland. You might as well.
I don't know. My partner's
Grace. Mate.
Say that again.
Johnny Gray swears by it.
There you go. Johnny Gray swears by it. Then it should definitely be a thing. It is good stuff. I know that it's not everyone's cup of tea, so it's all good. But yeah, if you're ever up in Edinburgh, give me a shout. And if I'm ever down Devon way, I'll definitely reach out and clash heads or something.
Yeah, sounds good.
But this has been the final whistle with Scott Sio. We'll see you next time.